Over the 12 years I spent in school, I tried my very best to stick to a schedule. I went from having a schedule with everything mapped out from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, but what ended up happening is that I would stick to this for a day or two and then trash it away for the rest of the year. Then I'll start the whole process all over again next year. Well, after lots of trial and error and research, I finally found it, the golden schedule that anyone can stick to no matter what. In this episode of Study Diaries, I'll be showing you how to make a study schedule that will not be thrown in the trash after 2 weeks. Basically, a study schedule you can stick to, ace your exam, and become a top student. With that said, let's start this video. Before we dive into making our study schedule, we first need to understand what is a study schedule. A study schedule is a time management plan that helps you organize your study session, break down tasks, and achieve your learning goals by assigning specific times for studying, reviewing, and completing academic work. In simpler terms, a study schedule is supposed to help you know when to study, what to study, and how to balance that with the rest of your life. It's meant to give you structure and help you reduce the stress that comes from last-minute cramming or disorganized revision. With that in mind, we also have to understand why is it important to have a study schedule. Can't we just wing it when we study? Well, for starters, it helps you stay on top of your workload. When you know what you're supposed to be doing and when, it becomes much easier to avoid procrastination. It also helps reduce anxiety. You don't feel overwhelmed with everything you need to study because you have a clear plan. A good study schedule helps you prioritize difficult topics, track your progress, and keep your goals in focus. Whether you're studying for an exam, catching up on missed lessons, or just trying to build better habits, a schedule keeps you grounded. But here's the problem with this. When we make our schedule, it does not do all this. Instead, it gives us the opposite effect. We feel stressed, we feel overwhelmed, we end up not following it completely, which is why the traditional schedule is a fake. When we talk about a study schedule, we imagine something like this. It usually looks like a table with days of the week along one side and subjects like biology, chemistry, maths, and English along the top. You might plan something like this. Monday, biology from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday, chemistry from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Wednesday, maths from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. At first glance, it seems super organized, right? But in reality, it's not. Let me tell you why this doesn't work. Number one reason, it's because it's too rigid. If something unexpected comes up, like a family event, or if you're just too tired to study at 4 p.m., you feel like you fail the whole world when you don't stick to the plan. The next one is because it doesn't focus on your weak spots. You're just spreading time across all subjects equally without identifying which topics actually need more attention. The third reason is that it lacks detail. You may know you're studying biology, but what exactly in biology? Cells, enzymes, genetics? No idea. Number 4, it encourages procrastination. If your set time to study is 7 p.m., but you're free earlier, you might delay doing anything productive until then, thinking, I'll just do it later. All this makes sense, and it's really easy to abandon the schedule altogether. Which is why I'm now going to introduce you to something that is completely changed the game for me, the retrospective revision timetable. The retrospective revision timetable is the opposite of traditional scheduling. Instead of planning in advance what you study, you track what you already study. Let me break it down. First step, you choose a subject you want to revise. So in this case, I'm just going to use biology as an example. So you're just going to write biology on a piece of paper, or you can use a Google Sheet or whatever that you mostly use on a daily basis. And step 2, you create a sheet or page just for that subject. So if you're using a Google Sheet, you would have one Google Sheet for that subject. Or if you're using a paper, you would have one paper for that subject. And then you're going to list all the subtopics within the subject. So like we said, biology and the subtopics will be like cell structure, enzymes, DNA and RNA, the Krebs cycle, immunity. So we're going to list all 5 of these subtopics in one column. Then you're going to move on to step 4. Every time you revise a topic, you record 2 things. 1, the date you revised it. So for example, on Monday, 1st of July, you revised the cell structure. And during your revision, you found that you're actually pretty good at the cell structure and it's super easy for you and you understand everything in that topic. So you're going to color this in green. Then the next day, you decided to try enzymes because during your lesson or the lecture that day, you didn't really understand it. So you want to revise enzymes. So when you revise enzymes, you realize that actually, despite revising this, I'm actually just okay at the subject. I'm not too good. I'm not too bad. So you're going to color code it in yellow. Over time, you're going to do this for every subject. And then you're just going to write the dates that you revised each topic. And then over time, the goal is to make sure that all the topics become green at the end. You start by revising all the reds, then the yellows, and then the green. So all the topics turn green. This is very, very, very effective as it allows you to use active learning techniques and also spaced repetition. This method allows you to fully focus on what matters, your weaknesses, and it also removes the guilt of not sticking to a fixed time. If you revise a topic in the morning today and in the evening tomorrow, that's okay. What matters is progress. Plus, this system encourages active learning techniques like spaced repetition where you're revising the topics over time and active recall when you're testing yourself as you go, which are proven to boost memory and understanding. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments if you're going to try this. And if you would like more study tips, check out this video in the screen. With that, dear viewers, I will see you there. Goodbye and take care.